Okay, we're going to be taking a look at Dropboxes. You'll see that we're actually now looking at some Hebrew activities. And let's go into a practice reading. And you see the activity for the students is they've got a series of lines to read, and then the instructions for submitting a recording. And it's actually easier to see if I view it as a student, so let's do that again. And now that we're looking at it as a student, there's their instructions. And there's their record button. So they would click on, they would practice it for themselves. They would click on record audio, and it's going to bring up a recording tool. Now this is going to look a little bit different for each one of you because it's actually accessing your own computer's recording ability. So it depends on your computer and the software that's been set up in your own computer. The same will be true for your students. So you probably want to practice with them once or twice before they actually have to submit an assignment so that they're comfortable with the fact that it's going to pull up their own computer's recording capabilities. And one thing to keep in mind, sometimes the very first time you go to make a recording, when it asks you permission to use your computer's microphone, the box that it brings up looks a little bit like a pop-up ad, and it's not. So you should not be afraid of it. You should know that it's okay to say yes and authorize your computer to use its recorder. So the student would record a few lines, click save. We're not going to do it because I already have one out there for you. They would save it and they would submit it. And so now, let's say the student did their recording on a Monday and you're coming back as on Wednesday to listen and review. We're going back into the Student Management tab, and we're going to click on Dropbox. And it's important to understand also that the Dropbox here is a specific term to My Shalom Learning. It's not the same as the Dropbox that you might use to share files with a colleague in another location. It's more akin to the inbox and outbox if you're old enough to remember when teachers on their desks had folders labeled inbox and outbox. It's a facility for your students to leave assignments for you and you to leave feedback on those assignments. In this particular case, the assignment happens to be a recording. It's also just as possible that you could come up with assignments where you want your students to do something in writing and they could scan it in and leave it for you in a Dropbox. So we've seen the students review it. Now we've seen the students make their recordings. Now here you are as a teacher coming in. So under Student Management, Dropbox, and it's going to bring up all the activities that have Dropbox folders associated with them. We're looking for the one called Mem Practice Reading, and you'll see that there is a recording out there. So under Mem Practice Readings, you want to view submissions, and then scroll down, and you will see the list of all the submissions, and here it is down here by student. And again, once you click on this, it's now accessing your computer's individual way of playing back audio files. In my case, I happen to know that it's going to bring up iTunes. Okay, it's
ma, mo, boom, boom.
Okay, that's enough. You don't need to hear any more of me reading Hebrew. So you need to remember now that you're in iTunes and you actually need to click back into your My Shalom Learning to get back to where you are. In this case, back to folder submissions. Or what's a quick way to get all the way back to your main screen?
Anchor.
Liana or Sarah? Where? What? Anchor, yep, go back to your anchor. Take you right back. And that's all there is to depositing and listening to recordings. But this one takes a little bit of practice, like I said, because it takes you out of the My Shalom learning and interacts with your own computer. So take some time on this one to practice with it and get used to it.